Good morning, this is Fulton at Lute Air Student Radio. This is my music room for November the 10th, I believe. Could be very wrong about that. You'll see the correction in the video's title, of course. Anyways, this last week, I've listened to a lot, really. So first thing up is Brian Eno Ambient Series, 1 through 4. Just groundbreaking music in the genre of ambient music, at least. It's just like really comforting and relaxing just to put on and do stuff to or read, which is usually what I do. But the textures that teases out in this series is really amazing. So yeah, that's like one of the biggest ones. Up next, Miles Davis, Do Bop, his 1992 whatever, I can't pronounce it. The release after his death. It's pop, it's R&B, it's hip hop. There's some cheesy rapping on it at times, but otherwise it's just like him soloing over some break beats and some really funky bass lines and grooves. More ambient music. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo soundtrack. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are just some of my favorite score writes, composers when it comes to like music soundtracks. They really just make it really eerie and edgy. That's very similar to their work on The Social Network, which is amazing. It's just frantic, it's exciting, it's kind of anxiety inducing at times. Up next, Chet Baker, My Funny Valentine. This is just a 90s compilation I got the other week. Kind of a birthday present to myself. Just some classic Chet Baker standards. My Funny Valentine, It's Always You, Let's Get Lost, basic stuff. If you want to get into Chet Baker, compilations are kind of the way to go. Very diverse work, beautiful voice, relaxing trumpet playing, but definitely not my favorite jazz trumpeter of all time. Up next, Peach, Giving Birth to a Stone. This is a reissue CD of their early 90s release. This is released on Vinyl Beat. The art's by Adam Jones of Tool, the guitarist. Peach, actually, speaking of Tool, their bassist, Justin Chancellor, is, the bassist of Tool. So yeah, he digs some really interesting bass lines here. It really shows how good of a bass player he is, I think, just outside of the Tool setting, because there isn't a lot of his other work out there circulating. Personally, my favorite track is their cover of King Crimson's classic, Cat Food. Alright, so on to vinyl. First album, Kids See Ghosts, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Kid Kudai. This is one of the best collaboration albums, like hip-hop rap albums of like the past couple years. I'm not too hip to the game at times, but it's just amazing. The production is really high. Lyricism's okay, but like overall, like the way it blends together with the production is amazing. And yeah, say what you want about Kanye West, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time. Black Uru, rock promo I got this summer. It's just a 90s reggae dancehall promo. Some deep grooves, just vibes. First of many, Steely Dan, Pretzel Logic, professed by the band as like their most pop and most like concise album. I totally agree. This has their most popular song, Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Personally, I really like their cover of St. Louis Toodaloo. I don't know, it's amazing. I listened to a podcast with Donald Fagen yesterday, Leo Sidran's The Third Room, and it really just puts that into perspective how important that track is to be recorded by them, at least. Up next, I've shown this one to you guys before, Idols, Ultramono. It's just something I tossed on before going to bed. It was nice to have, some Bristol boys just blast my eardrums with relevant lyrics. Once again, more Steely Dan. I bought a whole bunch of their records for my birthday. Can't Buy a Thrill, classic, 1972. You know, it's got Do It Again, Dirty Work, and Real in the Years for you guys that only listen to singles. But personally, Kings and then Fire in the Hole. Amazing tracks. For 1972, this album it still sounds good. It doesn't sound dated one bit. The percussion is amazing. The way Walter Becker floats and glides and how crisp his bass lines are. You can really tell that these guys are playing with each other. And I saw a YouTube comment that said, losing David Palmer was Donald Fagen and Walter Becker's biggest mistake. Who is that guy? Who are you? David Palmer, like, he does a great Dirty Work, you know, he's got great tracks on there, but I don't know, I don't think people realize that this band is just Donald Fagen and Walter Becker. They wrote every song on that album. I showed this to you guys last week, Beatles, 1967, 1970, still spinning, listen to the whole thing. Bill Evans Trio, Moonbeams, I've shown this to you guys before. It's in the same vein as, you know, Trent Reznor. It's relaxing stuff that I put on to read too. But, you know, Bill Evans Trio is like a lot more engaging than ambient music to me at times. Especially when you hear the solos and then when it's live albums, the ambiance. I'm writing an article on that. Anyways, King Crimson, Discipline. I'm a mighty Crimhead, as we proclaim to be. This is a great album. It's like new wave, prog, a little bit of punk. It's whatever. It's just so many different things. That's what I think that might be my favorite thing about music, is when so many genres blend together. But yeah, King Crimson, Discipline. This is an essential King Crimson album. It begun their 80s era with Robert Fripp on guitars, Adrian Belew on guitars and vocals, Tony Levin on bass, and then Bill Bruford on drums. Fun fact about me, I just finished Bill Bruford's autobiography, and he touches on Crim just a tiny bit. It's like whatever. He's a very opinionated guy. He thinks he's right about a lot of things. A lot of his ideals are kind of old-fashioned. But nonetheless, like, you know, it's just how I'm interpreting his writing. But yeah, it provided great insight into drumming as a whole and like life as a professional musician. And then how he separates it with jazz and rock and all these different genres he's been through is really interesting. But yeah, nevertheless, Discipline by King Crimson, amazing album. If you guys want to get into it, I really recommend the first track off of side 1, Elephant Talk, and then in Discipline is the last one, and then The Sheltering Sky. That's kind of a diverse overlook of what 80s King Crimson is. Tight playing, but neurotic lyrics, but also improvisation on The Sheltering Sky. Bill Bruford plays a log drum for like 4 minutes. It's pretty awesome. Another record, Rick James, Stone City Band, Come Get It. Got this the other week. Great album. This is like an essential funk album, in my opinion, late 70s. It's, how would I say, a lot of commentators call it funk punk, but I see this kind of as like a separation of funk into more popular, as in like pop kind of music. It's a marker compared to like Parliament, where it's just like super funky. These lyrics are very, very horny, for lack of better words. But like Rick James lyrics are that too, but the production and sound that he brings isn't like a whole bunch of dudes jamming out, you know, arranging stuff and then being like, it's Hop in the Pocket. This is Hopping in the Pocket, but I'm doing everything myself with a more of a crisp like filter. I think it just comes to the sound that the albums produce. If you compare this to like Mothership Connection, or Motor Booty Affair, by Parliament. But yeah, this has classic songs like Mary Jane, You and I, Sexy Lady, and then how it just opens with Stone City Band High and then closes with Stone City Band Bye. It's just marvelous. Like, Rick James played almost everything on this album. That makes me want to pull. I have another album of his, Wonderful. It's back in a different room. But yeah, Rick James is just one of my favorite funketeers. You know, it's always a journey exploring funk, something I really recommend. And finally, my favorite Steely Dan album right now, Countdown to Ecstasy. This is just, it's their second album after Reelin' in the Years. This is a repressing. But man, they just, you know, you don't have David Palmer's very upper register lyrics and vocals, but you just got, it's like the confidence of Fagen and Becker just grow on this album, and they explore so much more. It really paints the landscape for what's gonna come next from Steely Dan. But like Your Gold Teeth, Razor Boy, My Old School, Bodhisattva, classic. It's, oh man. Definitely, you know, it bridges the gap that Countdown, Can't Buy a Thrill does. Can't Buy a Thrill is more rooted in that rocky, you know, 4-on-4, 454 carburetor. And while that begins, like, it starts like that, but then you start hearing more and more jazz fusion influence, and it just creates a really diverse and unique sound. And then, you know, it's like, I still don't know, like, where they're going next, really. Because I have only listened to Can't Buy a Thrill, Countdown to Ecstasy, Asia, listened to Gaucho once. I need to buy it, actually, not just stream it. And then I have two Against Nature. Like, I need to fill in the gaps of 70s Steely Dan. So yeah, that's about it. Next week, I probably won't be doing a video, as a heads up for you all watching this. Instead, I'll probably do something on all these dancehall and Jamaican reggae records I'm digitizing for a family friend. There's some really deep cuts in there. Half Pint, some Barrington Levy that you can't find anywhere. And then there's just a lot of weird early 2000 dancehall. I saw one with Sean Paul featured, and I am interested to see where that goes. Anyways, this has been Fulton at Laser, Lute Air Student Radio. Love your neighbors, love your friends, reach out to people, just have a great week, and yeah, follow us on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, follow this channel, Lute Air Student Radio, and then follow us on Instagram at Laser Radio. It's all one word. Be sure to check out our website. We have a page on massmedia.pou.edu, along with our traditional POU page, pou.edu/laser, where one of my cohorts, Duffy, has been working on a blog. Yeah, check it out. I can drop links in the description. Have a wonderful day.